with that all down, let's move on to this, shall we? Well, last night, it feels like just last week that Ironheart started. Oh, wait, it did just start last week. That's right. Ironheart started last week, and I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was particularly good, but to my surprise, I did not hate it.
I didn't either.
And I was expecting to tap out after the first 3 episodes. Quite frankly, I was. But by the end of it, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm kind of curious to see the final 3 episodes now, because I kept hearing that the last episode was really good. So last night, I sit down to watch the final 3 episodes of Ironheart. And I'll say this. It was definitively worse than the first 3 episodes, with an amazing ending.
Yeah.
And just so you guys know, we are going to go into spoilery detail. Okay, just give you know, we can bring up the warning there. We are going to go into spoilery detail on the episode. Mephisto isn't a spoiler. Sacha Baron Cohen is literally listed on the front IMDb page of the show as Mephisto. So That's not a spoiler. But I mean, we are going to go into spoilery detail on this, just so you're aware in case you guys care. Look, let me talk about the things that really drove me crazy about the episodes, and then let me end on the shockingly great ending. All right. I have always said this. I understand if we're talking about a Lord of the Rings, or we're talking about a DC universe, or a Harry Potter universe, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The normal rules of logic don't apply. I get that, and I'm okay with that. All I ever ask is that you follow whatever rules of logic you've set up in your cinematic universe. If you're a Star Wars movie, follow the rules of logic of the Star Wars universe as you have laid out.
It's essential.
Yeah, to do that, right? So a number of things really just drove me crazy. Number one, the dialogue was all forced and bad. I wanted to really like the witch mom and her daughter. I think those could be very good characters. But it was tough because the dialogue the writers kept giving them was so lame that it made it tough. But I think especially the daughter witch, I think that could be a really cool character. But they just kind of gave her terrible dialogue, so that was frustrating. But the thing that I just wanted to pull my hair out, and I wanted to throw things at my TV, was Riri, without a team of MIT professors helping her, with her mom, her boy crush, her imaginary friend, and a 12-year-old neighborhood kid, made a far more advanced iron suit out of a car in like 24, 48 hours. A lot of people have said to me, oh, John, I mean, that could have been a week or 2. Okay, you can say that, but in the show, she starts building it when Parker says, we got a big hit tomorrow, guys. You're going to need your rest. And he has the falling out with the crew. And then tomorrow comes and he hits the house. And on that day, she wraps up construction. So you can say it could have been a week, but in the way the show was made, it said it was like within 24, 48 hours. But whatever, let's even be generous. Let's be generous. Let's say it was 3 days. Let's say it was 72 hours. All right, Riri Williams, this kid, an exceptional kid, but a kid, with her mom, imaginary friend, a boy crush, and 12-year-old child, saying, I have nothing to make an iron suit out of. Wait, we have a car. And made a far more advanced iron suit than the suit she spent a year making at MIT with their labs and their technology and all that kind of stuff. And just in a couple, oh yeah, we made this iron suit.
It was a very advanced car.
It was a very advanced car. And I'm like wanting to gouge my eyes out. And like go, what? Like Tony Stark couldn't have done this. Tony Stark with Reed Richards, with Hank Pym could not have done this.
With his incredible equipment that he has use
even
of.
if he had all the equipment in the world and everything, he would not have been able to do this. And I'm watching this like, oh my God, are they really doing this? Like, you know what I thought they were going to do? You know what I thought they were going to do? When the mom takes Riri back to the garage, because remember, Riri said in an earlier episode, my dad was obsessed with Tony Stark. Remember that?
Yeah.
And her dad was clearly a bit of an inventor himself. What I thought they were going to do was mom was going to take her back and she was going to hit some secret button and some rudimentary, granted, iron suit raises out of the ground. It's like, your dad didn't want you to know, your stepdad didn't want you to know he was working on this, but because he's such a Tony Stark fanboy. And I thought at least then you would have had the groundwork for her to build around. But instead, oh, don't worry, like nothing to make an iron suit out of. We've got a car. No worries. We have a car. So that I could go on about that for an hour. It infuriated me. Then they do basically the same thing. Ezekiel Stain goes to Parker's thing. It's like, oh yeah, all those theoretical ideas you've had about human cybernetic stuff. Oh yeah, just lay on this table. We'll have you all cyborged up in about 5 minutes.
Nice.
What the fuck? I mean, what the actual fuck? Like, that exists in the MCU? And why is there not an army of cyborgs running around? It was just like, oh yeah, I don't worry about it. I can just the person who just wanted to open a Michelin star restaurant is like, oh no, I got this. I got there, instant super advanced cyborg. Just like that. By a bunch of 2-bit, like, heist crew people. I'm like, what the actual hell are we doing here? And then they keep trying to make me feel empathy for this heist crew, right? Take Parker and his cousin out of it. I thought Parker and his cousin were both really good characters. I really did like those characters. But the rest of the heist crew, I wanted to like them. I did, but they were so insufferable. And then, like, they're trying to make me feel something for them, going, they realize Parker's kind of dirty. No, we don't want any part of that. We're out of here. You were just going to murder Riri. Let's kill her. Right? They literally, you got the two Fight Club girls, and they're going, come on, we're wasting time. Let's just kill her. Yeah, granted, they were told that she's the one who killed John. Okay. But that just suddenly makes you, oh, no sweat. I'm going to murder this. I'm going to kill this person. I'm going to commit murder. They were literally in there to kill this girl. And I'm supposed to feel any kind of moral empathy for them?
Yes, you are, John.
I'm just like, what? Like, again, what are you talking about? The twist about the guy he ultimately was trying to rip off being his own father, that was, you know what? That was the best plot writing, I think, of the whole series. I think that was actually legitimately a pretty cool thing when you realize from the flashback to this, it was his own dad he was trying to rip off. And that guy he was ultimately trying to get revenge on. You know what? Kudos to that. I thought that was good. Give credit where it's due. I thought that was good. So between all these ridiculous MCU logic leaps, completely unlikable characters, bad dialogue, I mean, ultimately, I just got to say this show. Look, I still think this show is better than Echo. I still think this show is better than Secret Invasion. I'll put it roughly on the same level as Hawkeye. Which, you guys know I didn't like Hawkeye. I had some things I liked about it, but overall I didn't like Hawkeye. I'll put it around the same level as, say, Moon Knight and Hawkeye. Which is to say, ultimately, I was pretty disappointed with the show. Especially when you had such a great premise like a Riri Williams. But I will say this. The ending was awesome to me. And I'm not even talking about Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto, which, by the way, Sacha Baron Cohen, to me, was a fantastic Mephisto.
He was.
His going back and forth between the accents. It's like the Forbes 100 list, worked with 100 of them. 14 kings, 2 popes, and one of the Beatles. It was Ringo. That was, by the way, that might have been the line of the whole show. One of the Beatles. It was Ringo. He has this evil suaveness about him. And what's in return? Nothing you will miss. Nothing you'll miss. I thought he was great as Mephisto. Really did. Never kind of understood what his whole game was. That's fine. We weren't supposed to know yet. That's fine. But that's not the thing I'm talking about, why the ending was great. I've been very critical about the writing in this show. And then they do something, Rob, at the end that blew me away. And that was this. As he's sitting there, as Mephisto is sitting there making his offer to Riri, I was, without any doubt in my head, expecting the stereotypical, nah, I'm good from Riri. Like she's going to give some awesome one-liner to him that just kind of like throw the napkin in his face, like, I don't need you, and up and walk out. But they did something that I'm honestly going to say is one of the ballsiest things I've ever seen Marvel do. She took the deal. After what she saw it doing to Parker, after understanding and knowing exactly what Mephisto is, she took the deal. I never in a million years would have guessed that. But here's the real brilliance of it. The brilliance of her accepting the deal was that it wasn't out of nowhere. The entire show, always from episode 1 to the end, laid the foundation of there has been no greater trauma to this girl than the loss of her best friend. Yes, her stepdad as well, but the loss of her best friend has haunted her the entire time, to the point that even when she created this abomination, which I'm glad the way, you know, her love interest guy reacted to it, like, this is wrong that you've made this thing. Like, there's something kind of perverted about it.
Yeah.
But she needed that. And throughout the whole thing, like constantly flashbacks to her and her best friend talking. So by the time they get to that end and she makes this complete twist of a decision, I'm sitting there, my mind goes back instantly through the whole show. I'm like, they've led up to this. This was, as all the kiddies like to say, earned. This not only hit me completely out of left field, but it did so in such a way that it was completely consistent with everything we've known about this character throughout the whole show. And I had Anne beside me on the couch, and I literally like flopped back in the couch when it happened. I'm like, and I said, this is the ballsiest thing I've ever seen Marvel do. And you know what? It was also consistent with the fact that while some people have been critical of this, I've kind of liked that Riri is not a moral North Star. She is a complicated character with faults. She wants to be a good person. She tries to be a good person. She has good aspirations and good dreams and good goals. But they've shown her throughout to be a morally flawed person. Throughout it, whether it's being willing to join a crime gang or whether, even though she didn't like doing it, like she literally blackmailed Ezekiel Stane to doing what she wants done. Like all this kind of stuff, like they've always shown her throughout the show as a morally flawed person, which then again stayed consistent with at the end. To get what I really want, I'm willing to make a deal with the literal devil. And then as she hugs her friend at the end, like you see then the marks start to grow on her. Again, I don't know where they're going to go with it, but as somebody who did not like this show, at the end of the day, the ending didn't save the show for me. It's not a good show. But give credit where it's due. They swung hard at the end, and they still lost 10-1, but they hit that one out of the park at the end to get the one. They hit that out of the park, and I loved it. And Rob, it left me in this weird place. Here's the weird place it leaves me. Do you know last week marked the 3-year anniversary of when they filmed this show?
I did not know that.
3 years last week. 3 years. Which means this show was a firmly one of the products of the Bob Chapek era.
Yes.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Stitch Fix. Let's be honest, shopping is not my thing. I've wasted way too much of my time either in stores or scrolling for clothes, only to end up with stuff that doesn't fit or just, doesn't work. See, that's why I use Stitch Fix. You take a quick style quiz, your size, your vibe, your budget, and boom, you're paired with a real human stylist who curates pieces just for you. They send you a fix box with clothes actually fit for your life. Stuff you'll wear to work, on weekends, or wherever. It saves me time, helps me look great, and I never have to step foot in a store. You try everything on at home, keep what works, and send back the rest. Free shipping and returns, no subscription required. Oh, and your first fix? The try-on is totally free. So if you're tired of the endless shopping grind, this is your sign to try Stitch Fix. Seriously, it's style without the stress. Head to stitchfix.com/Campea to get $20 off your first order, and they'll waive your styling fee. That's stitchfix.com/Campea. What the ending of this show did to me, even though I did not like the show, now knowing what their new philosophy is of how they're handling Disney Plus shows, now that they're going to have traditional showrunners, which is part of the reason why I think we've got some half-decent stuff coming up soon, all that kind of stuff, that ending combined with the fact that they've got a new philosophy of how to do this, I didn't like Ironheart. I hope they do an Ironheart season 2. And it feels weird to say that. All the complaints I have about Ironheart, all the things that I think did not work, but understanding the nature of the show, when it was actually made 3 years ago, and how they ended it, it makes me go, I bet they can do a season 2 much better. I bet today they could do a season 2 much better. I don't know if they're going to do it. I don't think anybody watched this show. I think when we get the ratings numbers, we're going to find out it was even lower than Daredevil. But I am sitting here today as somebody who did not like the show, as somebody who I kind of hope they do a sequel to this, because I thought they killed that ending. Anyway, you had a chance to watch it. What are now your overall thoughts of Ironheart?
I agree with you about the ending. It was unexpected and it was really well done, and the show led up to that.
Yeah.
My biggest criticism was that I don't think the story that the first 5 episodes were telling was the best way to lead into that conclusion.
Completely agree.
In the sense that you could have had if you knew that you were going to have an ending, first of all, you're making a lot of commentary on sort of race relations in America, the fact that people have to do certain things because of their economic status. Are you the Sopranos, or are you Ocean's 11? That's a really interesting and they did all this stuff that they were putting in there. So there was a lot of really interesting, I thought, commentary buried in that show. But if at the end, I love stories about science and faith, and there was certainly that's going on when you are combining science and mysticism in a character and going toward that direction. To ask questions of morality and of should you or shouldn't you do this, the fact what she did with her AI, her friend, and creating the AI and doing, I think that there was they had all these interesting ideas that could have been put together in a story that had more to say about these ideas than what we got, because it felt like the final episode made everything else. I wanted the rest of it to be just as interesting, and because it was an unexpected turn with the character, because the character makes a pretty big moral decision. I mean, she's dealing with grappling, and she's basically gone down literally a dark path that you would not expect anybody to go down.
Particularly an MCU hero.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And I'm like, I wish the show led up to that, because it would have been shocking. It could have been it was still shocking, but it didn't pack the wallop. And you know what? I liked a lot of the cast. I thought the show was really proficient. And I just thought, again, the writing, like you're saying, it's always the writing, but this show was missed potential that was saved by a terrific climax. At least an unexpected climax that took the show into a whole different realm. And I wish it could have been more than it was.
By the way, I want to throw this in here. You were just kind of talking about the cast. Let's bring this up. The girl who played Natalie, Lyric Ross, who I believe was in This Is Us. I think she's the same girl who was in This Is Us. I really got to say why I thought I have no complaints about any of the cast, to be honest with you.
Right.
Thought the mom, the woman who played, they all played the dialogue they were given, right? But I do got to say, I was particularly impressed with Lyric Ross as Natalie. I think she was kind of the standout in this, and I look forward to seeing more. And of course, the guy who played Parker, and I thought he was great. Again, I really have no complaints about any of the cast. I did think some of the tie-ins with Doctor Strange and having the girl being from that there was a dropout of Kamar-Taj.
Right.
I like that. The fact that the daughter instantly recognized what it was Riri had in her pocket, and so therefore opened up the dimensional door, took him. I thought that was all pretty clever.
Yeah.
And dropping Doctor Strange's name. Did you see the post-credit scene, by the way?
Yes.
I didn't until this morning. I saw somebody mention it, so then I went back and watched it. That opens the door for some possibilities.
Yeah, it's funny with the Marvel shows, and the credits are so long that I always scan through. I'm like, I gotta look. I've always scanned through. So I did see that.
Yeah, so I thought the post-credit scene was pretty good. Maybe they can set up a Parker redemption kind of thing. Because again, Parker, at the end of the day, Parker, he's a dude who got really screwed over. Of course he turned out the way he did. And maybe they can set up some kind of a redemption arc for him. I don't know. I do like the little girl witch. I like her a lot. I think she's fun. I think
that's why the show to me had lots of potential.
It has the building blocks that you can make something really good out of it, right? And that's why while I acknowledge it's weird to say that I really didn't like the show overall, I think there's a lot of potential for a season 2 if they do it better. If they do it right, I think you could have something really interesting and really fun. And I really do hope they keep Alden Ehrenreich's character around. Because I at the end of the day, he's like, yeah, sorry, he's beating up Riri. He's like, sorry. I didn't like the whole thing about, I'm going to knee you in the balls and that'll turn off your system. Why on earth would you think that? Why would kneeing him in the balls turn off his system?
Have you ever been kneed in the balls?
Yeah, it's turned off my system for sure. But
more Star Trek jokes too. Come on.
But and that's the thing I got to say. I'm watching the show, and like all the Star Trek references come up, and I'm like, I remember thinking to myself, even if Rob is hating this, I bet he's smiling right now.
And they were not bad. Sometimes
they were not bad.
Sometimes they're grading Trek references to be grading, but those were not bad.
Like the one on the coffee is just James Tiberius.
Yeah,
they didn't even say Kirk on it; just said James Tiberius,
which I loved.
Rob would appreciate that. So anyway, guys, that's kind of overall thoughts on Ironheart. I think a badly executed show with good performances, the right cast, and a terrific ending that has all the potential and building blocks there to do a much better season 2. And so, again, I don't say this often. I did not like season 1, but I really hope they do a season 2. Don't say that very often, but I'll say it here. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What did you think about Ironheart? Did you get around to watch the finale? If so, what did you think about it? What worked for you? What didn't work for you? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.